XRP has clarity. All right. It won the court case. All right. In the United States. So it is a little different, but anyway, he came on, he basically said that if we don't, by the end of May, or the third week in May, he said specifically the third week of May, he feels like that's the deadline. He says if the Clarity Act does not get out of the Senate Banking Committee by the end of the third week in May, he believes that the bill stalls and we are in real trouble for getting it through this Congress. Okay. But again, he did encourage and he reminded the room that XRP has clarity. A federal judge ruled, in her opinion, that XRP in itself is not a security, and that ruling stands. And so Ripple is supporting the Clarity Act because it's good for the industry overall, but not because XRP needs it. XRP has fought its own painful fight for clarity, and it won that fight already. All right. So right now, we're just watching the Senate Banking Committee over the next few weeks. Don't let the noise shake out your conviction about what you're holding. The regulatory clarity for XRP specifically is locked in. The Clarity Act is about the broader industry. Okay, those are two different things. And what Brad did is he did make that distinction very crystal clear yesterday. And I think a lot of people in the community just needed to hear that, because that's the one question they keep asking. And sorry if this video is a little lopsided. Listen, I was just trying to get this out. All right. Now, takeaway 3, I did get a chance to hear Greg Kidd from Vast Bank and the Future of Money. And I think it's one of the most underreported conversations. And so I wanted to let you know exactly what I took from it and what happened. So again, Greg Kidd runs Vast Bank. So he was talking about tokenized deposits and why they are different from stable coins and different from central bank digital currencies. So what he was saying was that there are basically 3 paths for the future of money. Central banks doing CBDCs, which is essentially what he called it, like Big Brother controlling everything. And then you got stable coins, which run mostly without identity and compliance. And then you have tokenized deposits, which are real dollars that are FDIC insured, but living on chain. And what he said is this. He said, right now, when you pay somebody at a different bank, there's a whole clearing and settlement process that happens between banks because every bank has its own ledger. And I talked about this recently, but I just want to share it because it came out his own mouth, and I'm kind of reporting to you exactly some of the information that came out yesterday. So anyway, because every bank has its own ledger, there is no single master ledger. Okay. But with tokenized deposits, there is one master ledger, just like there is for any blockchain, for example. So which means that money moves from one address to another address 24/7 instantly without cost. The whole thing is moving money instantaneously. Is that a word? Instantaneously? I think so. Right? Y'all know how I am with words, right? Instant or instantly. Okay. There's different versions of that. Y'all get what I'm saying? But he said in a world where 1 or 2% of GDP is currently spent on payments become a public good, and the price should approach zero, which it should. And so that is the future being built right now. And the rails that is being built on are the kind of infrastructure that XRP, of course, and the XRP Ledger was designed for.